Boston Bruins head on the road for the next 2 weeks, but not before getting 2 wins under their belt. Patrice Bergeron getting his 26th and 27th goal, 17 goals in 19 games, 10 assists in 19 games, which has a lot of people talking about him and the Hart Trophy.
No, it's not something that it's really something that I feel we're in a team game, and that's all I'm worried about right now. It's about staying focused, staying in the moment, and it's all about keep pushing ourselves to be a better team and not think about the other stuff. Brad is fighting me. I'm trying to get open, whether it's me trying to shoot more or the situation that's presenting himself more. I don't know, but it's I'm just trying to make the play that's in front of me, and so lately it's been shots more than plays. So I'm trying to do that.
So welcome in to the Spoken Bee. Courtney Cox joined now by Mike Cole. Mike, thanks for joining us today. 5-2 final, Bruins against the Flames. This Bruins team seems incredible. They seem off the charts. How legit do you think they are this late in the season?
I'm starting to really believe in this team. I spoke last week about how I still feel this way to an extent. I want to see them beat some of the better teams in the league. I think they've kind of feasted on a lot of the teams within their own division over the last 2 or 3 months. Teams that aren't very good. They have an incredible divisional record. They've struggled against the West, which kind of makes the win over the Flames a little more impressive. I think they're as much of a cup contender as there is really in the rest of the league, just because I'm not sure there's that one team that stands out like maybe there has in the past with 1 or 2 teams. So I think they have a legitimate claim as a cup contender, but I still need to see a little bit more. And I think this week with this the next couple of weeks of the Western Canada road trip, going out on the road, trying to beat Western Conference teams, you start winning those kinds of games, and you do so in convincing fashion like they have for the last 2 months, then you start to really believe. But with the trade deadline looming as well, that's kind of a chance to augment the team if they want to. So there's still a few hurdles or milestones that I kind of want to see them pass, but you can't argue with the results. This is a team that's is in the contention for a President's Trophy, a team that's in contention obviously for the 1 seed in the East. So the results certainly speak for themselves. They're a very, very good hockey team, and I think they can get better.
Well, we just heard from Patrice Bergeron. He's been having an incredible season. It was his bobblehead night on Tuesday during that game. Do you think that he is a serious contender for the Hart Trophy?
Yeah, he has to be. And, I think, maybe if he's going to be a legit contender for the Hart, probably going to have to score a few more goals. He's got 27 as of right now. Maybe if he gets to 35, 40 range, and you really start talking about him. He's a guy who, by the definition of the award, basically the NHL's most valuable player, he should be up there every year because I think he is the most valuable player on the Bruins. I think he's one of the more valuable players in the entire league. But you kind of see, with the Bruins as a team getting a little more offensive, he's a guy who's continuing to put the puck in the net. He's a guy who shoots a lot, a guy who, they drive possession, so the puck's going to be on his stick a lot, and he's burying those opportunities. So, and again, kind of like talking about how there aren't a lot of dominant teams, there really hasn't been that one dominant player. Patrice Bergeron's been that as much as anybody else in the league, so I think when the award season rolls around, he should be in the consideration, definitely.
Well, he definitely had some mix-ups, some changes on Tuesday. His line got changed a bit. He was joined by Backes and Marchand. David Pastrnak was moved to the 3rd line. Let's hear what Coach had to say about that change.
Stroke of genius, huh? What did I think of it? Well, it worked. So I thought Backes, we got them away from Gaudreau. We wanted to. I went with Corral. It was just a gut instinct. Their line plays hard. They play honest, play straight lines. I thought, well, if they're going to beat us, they're going to go 200 feet. So I thought they got an easy goal against us. Too easy for how good they are and how good we want to be defensively. And then Backes then would see the Tkachuk on the left wing, who's an ornery guy. So it's just a bit of a matchup. To keep everything honest in our building. Give us a little more pushback, and then Pasta would slide down with Nash and Heine, which is still a very effective line. So, just a little tweak and a little different matchup work tonight. We'll see going forward. I'm sure Bergie will get his lion's share of the top lines.
So Bruce Cassidy having some fun there. Did you like the change? Do you think they should stick with this change?
Yeah, I like the change a lot. I think, NESN.com's Ricky Doyle already kind of touched on this, so I'm really going to parrot what he said. But you know, I don't think it's a long-term change at all. I think even actually as of Thursday morning, the Bruins are back to their regular lines, if you want to call it that, you know, with Pastrnak skating with Marchand and Bergeron again. So I don't think it's a long-term thing. But what it is it's an interesting technique. It says a lot in terms of how Bruce Cassidy has his finger on the pulse of his team. He saw a guy who wasn't playing up to the level that he needed to be playing. He saw a guy who took a silly penalty born just out of frustration more than anything else. And he you know, gave him a little short-term demotion, kind of, you know, put him back in line. And I think that's something that you have to do over the course of, you know, an NHL season. And it's something that Claude Julien, quite frankly, didn't do it as often as a lot of people would have liked to have seen him do. So it's a refreshing change in that regard as well. You know, it's just one of those things. It's in a coach's toolbox that you have to kind of, you know, send a message when you need to. It's you know, otherwise unremarkable game in the middle of February. It's a good time to kind of remind David Pastrnak that you're an important part of this team and we need more out of you. So it seems like he got the message. I don't think it's going to be an issue moving forward. It worked out you know, really well, in fact. So again, Bruce Cassidy continues to do a terrific job with this team, and that's just another example of it.
Now let's go into the division standings. The Bruins are second in the Atlantic behind the Lightning, and they're ahead of the Maple Leafs, but we've still got a lot of hockey to play, so we'll see where they fall there. Let's talk about a new little thing that Brad Marchand is doing. I like to call this Mouthy Marchand. Is he the best follow on Twitter? I think he may be. He's been having an incredible month tweeting away. Here we go. I'll be at Stop and Shop at 5:40. He's talking about going to say hi to him. Someone responded, "You gonna cheap shot some defenseless chap there too?" This was after some people thought he gave a cheap shot to an opposing player. The only thing defenseless is your mouth with that huge hole between your teeth. Ooh, below the belt by Brad Marchand. Let's move on to the next tweet from this month. Absolutely on fire. Oh, here we go. It continues. Ryan Spooner getting into the mix. Easy, Todd. Did you leave that nasty goatee just to separate some of those chins? Brad, you're taking down people left and right. This one was funny. David Backus saying, "Finally found our groomer. Thanks, Dash It Dogs." He responds, "Now we just need one for you. JK, don't hurt me." Absolutely hilarious. And how about Justin Timberlake? Great performance and all, but more importantly, where can I find that elk shirt? The elk shirt he wore during his halftime performance. And the last one, he probably wished that he had taken this back. In a few hours, the Patriots will be Super Bowl champs again. Let's go, boys. Obviously, did not end how he had planned. Tough go there. And for a glance at the social media scene around the rest of the sports world, here's Casey's Social Drive presented by Nissan.
Time now for tonight's Nissan Social Drive, brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. It's a V-Day special. To start, why don't we take you on an island getaway, all expenses paid, because it cost you nothing for me to show you Linda Holliday's Instagram picture of her and Billy Boy surfside somewhere. I think I see a smile there too. And if you need something maybe a little hotter, let's crank up the heat. Tom and Giselle, they got the quick hop on a jet and get to an island memo that the Patriots were apparently passing around the locker room. Smooch City. I love love. Looks like Olympians love love too. Norway's curling team wearing their festive pink pants while competing. Slightly clashing with their shirts, but it's all good. I like where their heads are at. Today is also a magical day for basketball lovers. 32 years ago today, Larry Bird recorded a triple-double by scoring 10 of 21 field goals off his left hand. That's not the hand he shot with. Finished the game with 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. His reason for doing that, he said, "I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers." Okay, that's your Social Drive.
Social Drive is presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
The Nissan Rogue has everything I need to take on today. Intelligent all-wheel drive when I need to follow the story or create my own path. Style, smarts, and storage. In the Nissan Rogue, I'm not just along for the ride, I'm driving. Shop the Rogue at your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Innovation that excites.
And watch me, Casey McDonald, with your Nissan Social Drive nightly on NESN Sports Today.
Casey McDonald, all-star driver, all-star reporter. We love her here. But up next for the Bruins, they are on the road 2 weeks, 5 games. They take on the Canucks, the Flames again, Oilers, Maple Leafs, and Sabres. If you want to see the Bruins in action at the TD Garden, you're going to have to wait till February 27th. That's when they are home to take on the Hurricanes. So now let's take a look around the league. The other teams in the NHL, the Rangers, the New York Rangers, releasing an open letter to their fans. This one has a lot of people talking, so I'm going to bring Mike Cole back in to talk about this. Mike, when a franchise releases a letter like this, what does it mean? Are they cleaning house?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty unprecedented move. I can't remember seeing this happen in the past. I kind of respect it. I think it's kind of an interesting technique. I think fans probably would have gotten the picture once they started trading off all of their valuable assets. But it's a little bit of upfront accountability, kind of keeping the fans in line with the strategy of the organization. I guess it's good to be upfront and transparent in that way. So like I said, a little bit unprecedented, but it's something cool. I guess I don't know. It's for as cool as it can be for you when your team is as bad as the Rangers are, I guess.
Well, the New York Post, which you have to trust everything that they post, they said that the Bruins are indeed very interested in Rick Nash. This is a tale as old as time. We've seen this year after year. Is this even a storyline, or should fans just kind of look the other way? Yeah,
I think it's a storyline. I think Rick Nash is a guy who would fit well on that Bruins roster, especially as right now. You look at like David Krejci, that line. They could use a little bit of size, and that's when Krejci's at his best, when he has big wingers on the side. So maybe you make that move and try to find a spot for him there. In Edmonton, Patrick Maroon's another guy who's a rental, is going to come a lot cheaper than Nash. Kind of does the same thing at a lesser level. But with Nash specifically, the price is going to be expensive. I think that's something that the Bruins have to deal with. They have the assets to make a move if they want to. Whether they end up deciding that's the road they want to go, we'll have to find out. I like Nash on this roster. I also like Ryan McDonagh, their defenseman. I think is probably the more valuable trade chip. But again, it's going to cost you a lot. So the Bruins have to figure out if they want to start mortgaging the future, in kind of trading off some of these younger players, these prospects, these draft picks, of which they have a lot. For a guy like that, I think either McDonagh or Nash would be a really big help to this Bruins team going into the playoffs.
Well, thanks, Mike, and you can follow along with him on Twitter at Mike Cole Nesson. The trade deadline is February 26, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have all your coverage right here on NESN.com. But yesterday, on Wednesday, it was a special day for love. It was Valentine's Day. So let's jump into some great Valentine's Day moments. Oh, there's Chara and McAvoy with a nice little hug. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Bergeron had a nice Valentine. I'd like to win your heart. Oh, fitting. But there's also some rumors going on, a new power couple, if you will. Olympic gold medalist, the gymnast Aly Raisman from Boston. It seems as though she is dating Tim Schaller. These are some trolled Instagram accounts that we have found. So exciting stuff there. Love is definitely in the air. But that will do it for this episode of The Spoken Bee. I'm Courtney Cox. Thanks for joining along. You can follow along at Cox Courtney and keep it locked in. NESN.com. We've got all your Boston Bruins and NHL coverage.